everyone, and welcome to our educational presentation. My name is Paul Arsov, and I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project. I'm going to talk about our project and several other projects that we're working on in the end of this presentation. But the topic of this presentation today is individual consciousness and the force of collective unconscious. The topic touches on psychology and a little bit on metaphysics, but let's start right away with this topic. Human progress is often attributed to consciousness and deliberate decisions of individuals. However, a growing body of thought from psychology and neuroscience to sociology and systems theory suggests that much of our progress is rooted in unconscious processes. In particular, the notion of collective unconscious proposes that a shared reservoir of inherited symbols, archetypes, and instincts drives many of our behaviors and innovations. While individual consciousness, the self-aware rational mind, is celebrated, it may represent only a small slice of the hundred of layers in the broader mental ecosystem. In this essay, we explore the significance of the collective unconscious in comparison to individual consciousness, examining its implications for social decision-making, artificial intelligence development, and creativity. Consciousness is the part of our mind that is active, aware, and capable of reflective thought. It is responsible for deliberate decision-making, rational analysis, and the articulation of ideas. Nevertheless, research in psychology and neurosciences has long shown that the conscious mind represents only a fraction of our mental activity and capacity. Pioneers such as Freud used the iceberg metaphor, like the visible tip is our conscious thought, while the vast majority, like comprising instincts, emotions, and automatic responses, remains unconscious. Within the individual unconscious processes guide many decisions and behaviors without our awareness. Cognitive scientists like Daniel Kahneman have distinguished between fast automatic, he calls it system 1 thinking, which is unconscious, and slow deliberate system 2 thinking, which is the conscious thinking. Additionally, theorists such as Marvin Minsky have described the mind as a society of interacting agents, each of which contributes to overall thought without possessing self-awareness. These ideas illustrate that even our most deliberate conscious acts are underpinned by a complex network of unconscious processes. Carl Jung explained and expanded the idea of the unconscious by proposing that beyond our personal unconscious, there exists collective unconscious shared by all humans. These collective layers contains archetypes, universal symbols, and themes found in myth, dreams, and cultural narratives worldwide. These archetypes suggest that people across different times and places draw on a common pool of mental imagery and instinctive patterns which influences behaviors and ideas in ways that are often unrecognized. Even without a centralized mind, large groups can exhibit coherence. Just as individual neurons, each lacking consciousness, combine to form the human brain, individual human actions and interactions create emergent patterns at the societal level. Economists like Adam Smith have noted that decentralized decision making can produce outcomes that appear as if they're guided by an intelligent force. The emergent coherence is visible in language evolution, cultural shifts, and even scientific discoveries, where no single individual or leader plans the outcome, yet collective progress unfolds over time. Historical examples illustrate that breakthroughs often occur through collective process rather than form the singular efforts of a lone genius. In science, instances of multiple discoveries, such as an independent formulation of calculus by Newton and Leibniz, suggest that when the collective conditions are ripe, the next innovation tends to emerge from several sources simultaneously. This indicates that progress is less about a solitary conscious act and more about confluence of unconscious ideas and incremental contributions from many individuals. The cultural and societal norms that guide human behavior often develop organically from the collective unconscious. The shared values, myths, and narratives that bind communities together are not solely the product of rational conscious planning. Instead, they emerge from the intermingling of countless unconscious influences over generations. This process explains why societies, even in the absence of centralized control, can exhibit remarkable resilience and adaptability. Understanding that much of human progress stems from unconscious processes has profound implications for how societies make decisions and suggests that inclusive and decentralized decision making is valuable when a wide array of perspectives contribute to policy making. The resulting decisions are more likely to reflect the emergent collective wisdom. Also, there is underlying of awareness of unconscious biases which is critical. Leaders and institutions benefit from recognizing and mitigating the hidden biases that shape public opinion and policy. Flexible and adaptable systems are preferable rather than attempting to control every outcome through top-down planning. Societies can thrive by creating environments that allow spontaneous emergent solutions to develop. The parallels between human unconscious processes and modern AI are striking. Current AI systems, especially deep learning models, operate by uncovering patterns in vast data sets, much like the human unconscious absorbs and processes experiences. This has several implications. First, intelligence without consciousness. AI systems can demonstrate creativity and problem-solving abilities without possessing self-awareness, underscoring that useful intelligence can be achieved through distributed processing. The second is reflection of collective data. AI models inherit both the strengths and flaws of the collective data they are trained on. As such, ethical AI development must address the unconscious biases embedded in training data. And the third is augmentation of human collective intelligence. By integrating AI into our social systems, we can enhance our ability to process information collectively. This collaboration between human and machine could lead to more robust problem solving and innovation. Both individual and collective creativity are deeply influenced by unconscious processes. For individual creators, unconscious insight, many creative breakthroughs occur after a period of incubation when the conscious mind steps back and the unconscious takes over. This underscores the importance of environments that allow the free flow of ideas. And then there is the cultural exchange. Creativity is encircled when individuals tap into the broader pool of cultural symbols and narratives. Group brainstorming and collaborative projects often yield results that no single mind could achieve alone. At the collective level, creative movements and artistic revolutions typically arise from a confluence of many individuals drawing on shared unconscious themes. When society's collective unconscious is vibrant and diverse, the potential for creative breakthroughs increases. And in conclusion, the exploration of the collective unconscious challenges the traditional view that human progress is driven solely by conscious, deliberate thought. Instead, we see that individual consciousness is deeply intertwined with unconscious processes, both personal and collective, that guide our behaviors, innovations, and social evolution. Individual and collective unconsciousness work together, just as neurons, none of which are individually conscious, form a coherent human mind, so too do countless individual actions combine to create emergent social progress. Emergent coherence without centralized control, the collective unconscious helps explain how societies, cultures, and even technological systems can evolve in an organized manner without a single guiding intellect. And practical implications recognizing these dynamics can improve decision making in society, um, lead to more ethically designed AI systems, and foster creativity from individually and collectively. Ultimately, embracing the power of the collective unconscious uh, allows us to harness the full spectrum of human capability. By acknowledging the unseen forces that drive our progress, we can better navigate the complexity of modern life, guiding our collective journey towards a more adaptive and creative future. And with this said, I'm ending the educational presentation, and I'm coming back to the beginning of this presentation when I told you that my name is Paul Arsov and I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project and several other projects. But first, the Decentralized Web project builds a decentralized communication and advertising platform. As just mentioned, the project is monetized through advertising, and the project has its own blockchain instance, which offers tokens for the users to join our platform. It offers tokens for users who joined our platform to invite other users, and for this they are rewarded with tokens. And of course, the users on our platform, they're rewarded for viewing also advertising. I mentioned that we are building decentralized communication platform, and the way of decentralization is different than what blockchain technology claims they're doing. Basically, blockchain technology has multiple and fundamental flaws which prevents it from being a driver of decentralization. The meaning of decentralization in our project, the essence of decentralization that we're seeing is direct communication from user to user without going through a third party, namely a server or point which stores the interaction and passes interaction to the people who are accessing this third point. So we don't have this centralized point, and the communication is direct between from user to user. With this said, I like to tell you the name and the URL of the website of this project. It is decentralizedweb.org. Decentralized and web, these are two words. They're typed all together. Decentralized web, and then there is dot, and it ends with org. Once again, decentralizedweb.org. The next project that I like to mention is our NFT marketplace and collection of NFTs. And what is interesting, unique, and special about our NFTs collection and marketplace is that the NFTs are based on three-dimensional objects. With three-dimensional objects, there has to be a special software which loads and displays the 3D object on the screen, and usually the creators of 3D objects, they're using most often game engines, and there are currently two very popular choices of game engines used by 3D object creators. One of them is called Unity and the other one is called Unreal. But from the very beginning of our project, we decided to build our own 3D software engine, and what it does, it reads the file of the 3D object, then it opens a window on a computer screen. It loads and displays the 3D object, and then it starts animating the 3D object in a way of moving it in a random fashion around the window it did open. But in addition to this initial and basic capabilities, our 3D software engine has multiple additional capabilities. The first additional capability of our 3D software engine is the capability of speaking. Our 3D NFTs can speak in one of three different voices. The 3D NFTs can speak either in a male voice or in a female voice or in a whisper kind of a voice. In addition to the three basic voices, there are three different flavors of voices. A voice can be spoken in a normal speed manner, or in a fast speed manner, or in a slow speed manner. So if we take a male voice and it is spoken in a slow speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a masculine person or the voice of an old person. If on the other hand we take a female voice and it is spoken in a fast speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a little girl or the voice of a funny person. The next additional important capability of our 3D software engine is the capability of voice recognition. You can ask the 3D NFT, you can tell the 3D NFT which is like moving in a random fashion around the window. You can then tell it and issue your very first voice command to the 3D NFT to stop moving. And then the 3D NFT is going to stand still and stop moving. You can issue following voice commands to the 3D NFT to move left, move right, move up, move down, zoom in, zoom out, rotate. And then the 3D NFT is going to fulfill each one of these separate voice commands and move left, then move right, move up, then move down, come closer, zoom in, go further away, zoom out, and start rotating. The next additional and important capability of our 3D NFTs is the capability of them having a basic artificial intelligence. Wow! You can ask the 3D NFT what is your name, and then the NFT is going to reply with their name. You can ask the 3D NFT who are you, and then the 3D NFT is going to reply in few sentences of who they are. You can ask the 3D NFT to describe something. For example, describe Web3 or describe decentralization or describe Russia. And then the 3D NFT is going to describe in few sentences about Web3 or decentralization or the country called Russia. The last but not least important capability of our 3D NFTs is the capability of them being displayed in a way of stereoscopics. What stereoscopics means is that a part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in red or reddish colors, and another part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in blue or cyan colors. Then you can come to the our 3D NFT marketplace website, And probably now is the time to tell you the name and the URL of this website. It is 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. 3dnft is typed in a way of the number 3 followed by the letter D followed by 3 other letters NFT, and it is altogether 3D NFT. Then there is dot, then there are two words, decentralized and web, and they're typed all together, decentralized web. Then there is dot and it ends with org. Once again, 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. On the top of the main page and every other page, you can see number of links. One of these links points to links of accessories, and when you click on this link, you're going to see that we're offering special glasses. You can click and order one pair of these glasses, and when you receive these glasses, you're going to see that one lens of these glasses is red and the other lens of these glasses is blue cyan. Then you can put these glasses on. You can request displaying the 3D NFT in a way of stereoscopics, and then you are going to see the 3D NFT is coming out of the flat two-dimensional computer screen, and you're going to see it in real 3 dimensions. With this said, I'm ending talking about our 3D NFTs and the 3D software engine, but I like to mention a little bit about our 3D NFT marketplace. In our 3D NFT marketplace, we have our own blockchain instance, and on this blockchain instance, we can deploy the non-fungible tokens for the smart contracts for the non-fungible tokens. In this way, we do not require our users to pay gas fees for the deployment of these smart contracts, and our users do not pay gas fees for transactions and transfer of ownership from one user to another user. In this way, by having our own blockchain instance, we also allow our users to pay in multiple crypto coins, and currently the choices include Solana Sol, Polygon Matic, Avalanche Avax, and Qcoin, which is a big centralized crypto exchange. They have a coin called KCS. In addition to having ways of payment by multiple crypto coins, we have a second parallel and independent way for buying and receiving proceedings from sale, and it is done entirely in fiat currency. So let's say you're an user, you come to our 3D NFT marketplace, you browse through the collection of 3D NFTs, you see a 3D NFT that you like, you click on it, and then you're going to be presented with a page for this 3D NFT, which includes a drop-down menu and choices to pay between 4 crypto coins, and fifth choice of paying with fiat currency. So let's say you select paid with fiat currency, then you're going to be presented with a screen where you have to put the number of your debit or credit card, CVC, expiration date, and when you complete the transaction, what is going to happen is there's going to be a transfer, and the payment is going to be converted from your national fiat currency to US dollars, and it is going to be deposited in our bank account in US dollars. Then we're going to do a transfer of the initial ownership from the 3D NFT marketplace to you, and you become the first user of 3D NFT. So let's say there's a second user who comes to our 3D NFT marketplace and they browse through the collection of 3D NFTs. So after you played with the 3D NFT that you are having, you can put this 3D NFT for sale. You can decide on the price you want to ask for the sale, and then the second user who comes to this 3D NFT marketplace, who is browsing through the 3D NFTs. So let's say they like in particular your 3D NFT. So they go through the same choices of selecting between payment with crypto and paying with fiat. So let's say they select paying with fiat, and then they put their debit or credit card CVC expiration date, and when they click the button to complete the transaction, there's going to be a transfer and conversion from the national fiat currency of the second user, which could be different than your national fiat currency and different than US dollars, and the transfer is going to be converted to US dollars and deposited in our bank account. Then we are going to transfer the ownership from you to the second user, and now the second user becomes the owner of this 3D NFT. Then we're going to do a transaction and transfer from our bank account and conversion to your national fiat currency, and this transfer is going to be deposited in your bank account in your national fiat currency. With this said, I'm ending talking about this second project. I like to mention the third project that we're working on. The third project deals with building charging products for electric vehicles, and we estimate that the number of electric vehicles currently on the market is going to exponentially grow in numbers, and currently the way of charging of electric vehicles, besides charging from users who have their own house and as home, like the rest of the owners of electric vehicles, they have to go to places which resembles gas stations for internal combustion engines, and these places resembling gas stations, they have number of electric charging columns, and the owners of electric vehicles, they come to these places, they connect charging cable to their electric vehicle, they start loading electric energy in their electric vehicle, they stay for a while in their car or outside waiting for the loading of electric energy, and then they pay for the energy and they leave. But we estimate that the number of these charging stations is going to become ultimately insufficient to handle the exponentially growing number of electric vehicles. So what we are proposing is the type of products that we're building on could be mounted in parking lots of and owners of electric vehicles who are living in like high-rise apartment buildings, which have high-rise or low-rise apartment building, which have a ground floor parking lot or multiple underground floors of parking lot. They could come in the evening to the parking lot. They can collect cable of a charging product like the one we are building to their electric vehicle. They can identify themselves to the charging station. They can start loading energy into the electric car, and they can leave it to load energy during the evening, during the night, and early morning, while the owner of this electric vehicle is at home. But many of these electric vehicle owners, they may be working also in low-rise or high-rise office buildings, which have a ground floor parking lot and multiple underground floors of parking lot. The owners of these electric vehicles, when they come in the morning for work, they can connect charging cable of a charging product like one we're building to their vehicle, and they can identify themselves to the charger, and they can start loading energy into their electric vehicle during the morning, afternoon, and early evening while they're at work. With this said, I like to tell you the name and the URL of the website of this project. It is power.rstack.com. Power is the ordinary word for power. Then there is dot, and then there is a word which I can spell it letter by letter. It is Alpha Romeo Sierra Tom Echo Charlie Hotel. Altogether rstack. Then there is dot and it ends with com. Once again, power.rstack.com. On the main page, we put 3 different surveys which you can fill out and tell us your preferences. The first survey is about hardware capabilities. The second survey is about software capabilities, and the third survey is about features which are included or could be included in our products. With this said, I'm ending talking about this project, and I like to mention the fourth project that we're working on. This project is about artificial intelligence agents, and the specific project is aiming for a new and not much populated category of entertainment and just for fun. In this category, what we're offering is an interaction between 2 different artificial intelligence agents, entities, which are based on different large language models, and they have their own avatar, they have their own gender, and they have their own voice with which they're vocalizing and speaking. So what the user is actually doing is they're defining the initial parameters of the interaction between these two entities, and then when they start the interaction, they're just observing, and they're being entertained by this interaction. With this set, um, I like to mention that we just recently released this artificial intelligence agents project, and you can go and you can uh, download and run the software for these AI agents in one of 4 different platforms, which include Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and Android. And with this said, I'm ending this presentation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening, and goodbye.